All right, we are recording for the folks that couldn't make it. I know a lot of people got a lot of different things going on, especially this time of year. Going to be some people taking some vacations, things like that. So welcome to Power Hour, everybody. My name's Casey Salgi for you all that don't know me, and appreciate you all joining us here tonight. The purpose of Power Hour is to be able to help you to increase your skills, be able to answer any questions that you have, and then help you move the needle, help you learn new things about this business so that you can help us in the mission on impacting a whole bunch of people's lives. My personal mission is to impact 200,000. Once we get done with phase one, we'll move to phase two, but for now it's 200,000 that we're working on, and it's going to be very, very powerful. So with that, like we always do, I open it up for questions. So anybody, if you've had a question that's been burning a hole in your head and you've been needing to get to Power Hour to be able to ask it, the time has arrived. So feel free to ask any questions that you might have regarding this business. You can just unmute your phone and ask away. I think I saw somebody asking. There it is. Somebody got it. Good. Thank you, Karen. All right, let's see here. We got a couple notes. Perfect. Tyler, no worries. Thank you, sir, for the heads up on that. All right. So if no questions, then interrupt me if you do have one, even if it is on a different topic than I'm training on. So if something pops in your head, feel free to ask me or put it in the chat session, and then we will get going. All right. I see Lori. Welcome to the team. She just joined, and good to have you here on Power Hour. Glad you're here. All right. See Colton, Mr. David Jones on Absolute Fire. Oh man, y'all been killing it. I think you got 1 week left in your 31-day mark, and these guys are on a sapphire run in their first 31 days, so it's very exciting. All right, Lewis, brand new on the team. Welcome aboard. Good to see you, sir. Tara, part of the other dynamic duo that's blowing it up. All right, so excuse me, what we're going to talk today about is, with us having a lot of new folks on and a lot of folks that are going to be watching this recording that are brand new, still figuring out, okay, what's this Power Hour and how do I get on it? So there's going to be a lot of people getting that all figured out. But what we're going to go over today, I'm going to share my screen here. First thing I want to talk about, excuse me. First thing I want to talk about is I want to get into the details on what it is that we do here. So we've been talking a lot of mindset. We've been talking a lot of taking action. I want to get back into some nuts and bolts and circle back around. And it's really good to do that right in the beginning of the year. So this is the first training session that I've given, with us being first up for the year. Let's see here. CVFD, I bet you that's Robert. Let me mute that out for everybody. Okay, I think I got everybody muted now. So what we do in this business, so you just got started. Congratulations, welcome to the team. What you did is you went through a process. If it was done as our team does, and I know I have a lot of folks on here also that are not necessarily in my direct organization, but we're all part of the same team, okay? We're all part of Team Fusion. And you'll hear me talk about doing things a certain way, and you'll hear other people talk about doing things a certain way. It's all, there's a system. There's always a system that we have and how we're going to go about doing it. And I'm going to teach you how I go about this system. This is based off of the RP3 ATF model. And that stands for rapport, peak, three-way, add, tag, follow up. Okay. Now, everybody's got a different variation on how they do it. I'm going to teach you how I do it. I'm going to teach you what works absolutely, unbelievably bulletproof wise. And as you get this and as you see it, you're going to see why that's the case. And hopefully it was how you were brought on into this as well. And you'll see that be able to duplicate even quicker. Excellent, Jordan. Welcome to the team. I saw your name go across. I think it was Jordan Glover, if I remember correctly. I might have that wrong, but hopefully that's right. And good to have you and Robert both there. That's fantastic. So you guys keep it up. We got some folks later that just joined today, folks. So that is awesome. So glad to have y'all on here. So this is going to be good for you all to see this. Now, once you get enrolled, the next thing that has to happen in your business is you need to get launched, okay? And being launched is really two parts. The first part is explaining to you what it is we do. And the second part of the launch, and it's not a launch if you don't do this, is taking action into what it is we do. Okay. If not, then the rocket ship has not taken off from the Earth. It is still grounded. It has not had its launch sequence gone through. So it's very important. You can because here's the deal. You will see, and this is in all walks of life, but a lot of people will get a lot of knowledge, but they won't apply it. There's a lot of people that will take a lot of action without any knowledge. That's better, in my opinion, than taking no action with a lot of knowledge, but it's also just as detrimental. It's important to get the knowledge and to take action on it. That's what you're shooting for. So it's not one or the other. You need both. Okay? But in the absence of one or the other, I will take action every single time because you can learn from that. Okay? And it'll actually turn into something. So if you're ever in doubt, just try it. Just give it a shot. See what happens. Okay? This business is about not being successful a whole lot of times while you learn how to do something. My job is to keep the number of cycles as low as possible for you making mistakes. I do that by hopefully saying this in such a way that it makes sense. I inspire you, and I not brainwash you, but I get you to believe in what we do. And the quicker I can do that, and the quicker I can show proof of what we do working, and you can see yourselves doing it, the quicker you're going to do it. Some of the folks that just came on here just a second ago, Robert and Jordan, a couple of those guys, they've literally just been in the business and they have already duplicated. I think Robert's been in the business for less than a week, and I think Robert has over 7 people in his organization already. Okay, how that was done is he followed this system perfectly right from the beginning. So let's talk about what that is. The very first thing that you need to do in this business is you need to figure out why you started. You saw something when you got started in this thing, or when it first came across your desk, and you said, this is going to help me get to my why. And that is defined for you. There was something in your mind. Now, it doesn't mean it's your ultimate why, but you saw something that you said, this is going to help me get somewhere. A lot of people have a dream. They'll have a dream that they want to own a business. It's usually not that they want to own a business. If you get down deep into it, it's that business isn't the thing that you're looking for. It's the thing that the business brings you. It's probably stuff. It's probably something you want. It could be material. It could also be non-material. Chances are it's probably material, or it's time, or it's freedom. There is no problem with material items. Being able to have some really cool, some really neat, I've got it all up here on the stack here, but pretty neat headset. Stuff like this. Huh? David? Yeah? Stuff like this. This is cool stuff, man. This stuff for an IT guy, it geeks us out, man. Our nerd meter goes full ballistic when we get stuff like this. This is cool stuff, okay? Maybe you want to have some cool nerd stuff. Maybe you want to have some new computers. Maybe you want to have new TV. Maybe you want to go on a vacation. Maybe you want to go to Bora Bora. Maybe you want to go to Hawaii. Maybe you just want to go on a vacation that's not in your same zip code for a change. You got to figure out what the why is. Why did you get this? All right. I think I got you muted there. So figure out what your why is. That's very important. You must take a pen and a piece of paper, and you've got to write that down. By doing this on that paper, start writing it out. It causes things to happen in your brain. Figure out what that is. If it's not a specific thing that you want to purchase, and it's a maybe I don't want to go to my job anymore. There's a certain amount of money that's going to, if it comes into your bank account, that you don't have to go do what you don't want to do anymore. And sometimes that can be your why as well. It's the avoidance of something.
Trans over here. Go body.
Hey, Matt, I think you are coming unmute every time here. So heads up on. All right. I think I got you muted again. All right. So the why, if it's attached to whatever it's attached to, write that down and come up with an amount of money that's going to help you get that. If it's a trip, what's that trip going to cost? And don't go going small ball. Have that someday trip that someday we're going to go do X, Y, and Z. I did that one time. I had a And it hit me. The number one incomer in my previous company, man, he nailed me between the eyes with his two before. And he said, some of y'all got these someday dreams and you ain't doing enough to go make it a today reality. And for me, that was to take my family on a Disney cruise. And I mean, go all out, not just down there in steerage. I'm talking about at the top of the boat where they come and do everything. They bring the mouse to you. You don't stand in line for anything. You don't stand in line to meet the mouse. They bring Mickey to meet your kids. I mean, it's that sort of thing. I literally could have told them to throw somebody overboard and they would have done it. I mean, they will do anything on that cruise, man. It was insane. That cruise, going on memory, cost somewhere around $7,000 to be able to do that trip. We got on the private Disney island. We were in one of 8 suites that were on that boat. When we got to the private island, we had the private section of the private island where we had our own bungalow, where they brought you. You didn't even have to go stand in line. They just told you all the stuff they had, and they went and got it for you while you could be real busy in that hammock just sitting there with a banana leaf. It was that type of trip. It was insane how awesome that trip was. It was expensive as all get out. Not something that I would normally think about, let's go spend a whole lot of money on doing something like that, but it was one of those things I thought about. So it wasn't the money, but the money was the means to get to the thing that we wanted to do. It was that someday trip. Kids still talk about it to this day. That was like 4 years ago that we took that trip, maybe 5. So folks, figure out what that is. And then once you get out what the thing is, there's an amount of money that's going to help you do it. If it's getting retired, how much do you need to make per month for you to walk away from what you're currently doing? Come up with what that number is, okay? If you want to give more to charity, how much do you want to give? If you want to have more time to give to charity, well, then you can't be at the office if you want to have more time given to charity. So figure out what it is to get retired so that you can go give more time to charity. Figure that out. Get what that amount is. Then I need you to associate this to a rank. I need you to figure out what that rank is for you. Is it Jade? Is $300 a month going to take care of what you need? Is it Pearl? Is $659 going to do it? Is Sapphire $1,561 and a car? Is it Ruby? $3,500 a month on average. Is it Emerald? $7,400 a month on average. Is it Diamond? $14,000 a month on average. What is it for you? And whatever it is, get to that rank and write that rank down on what it needs to be for you. Once you have that nailed down, here's the next thing that you need to do. You need to write down a list of 20 names. Okay. Now here's a way that I want you to go about doing it. Okay. I'm going to have something that's called a plan on a page. I'm working on the template for this and I'll get this put out. But what it's going to be is you're going to need to print this out, and I need to figure out how it's going to lay out, but you'll probably need to print 4 copies of this page, and it's going to be a template. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a box and it's going to have your why. Okay. So all that stuff that I just mentioned goes in that box. And then below this, what I'm going to do is we're going to have 5 boxes. Okay. And in that, I want you to put, and you're going to print this out 4 different times. Okay. We're going to have 5 different names. I want you to put down the names of the first 20 people that pop into your mind. Now, right here is where your little terrorist who's with you all the time rears his ugly head if he hadn't already got a hold of you at the why. Because as soon as you start writing stuff down, you start hedging. You start holding yourself back. You're writing down a dream and you're already quantifying it and you're already shrinking it down to fit in a box into some number. That's usually when it starts. And if it didn't start there, it definitely starts when you start putting names down. Because as soon as you start putting names down, you start thinking ahead and you start telling a story on what these people are going to do. If they're going to be in the business or not. If they're going to want to do this or not. If they're too successful or not. If they're too busy or not. Blah, 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 blah. Before you can even fill out the piece of paper, your little terrorist is just bumping his gums into your ear. And he's just telling you, or she's just telling you all sorts of nonsense. First thing you need to do is just get that little person off your shoulder there and focus in and get into this thing on your why and these names. Put these names down. Don't prejudge. These are people that you know. You don't care if they've done it before or not. We'll come back and we'll sort them out later. You just need to get your brain paying attention and rewired to focus on other people. That's why we've got to put it down on 20 names. Now, here's what I'm telling you. And I want you guys to hear me on this, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. My goal is for you guys to be successful, not for me to be right. Okay? My goal is for you to be successful. I don't want you to fight me on this. I don't want you to sit here and then say, I'm going to do this, 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 and I'm not going to do anything you say. If that's the case, don't even come to Power Hour. I want you guys to come to Power Hour so that I can pass on to you what I was hard-headed and took forever to finally get coachable. And once I got coachable, I went and listened to the people that were making $500,000 a month doing what I wanted to do. And I finally said, you know what? There's people that have been successful in this. Why don't I go listen to them? I didn't even know they existed. That's how poor our upline management was on informing us and letting us know what it is we needed to do. So once I finally got out of my own way, I went looking for a coach. And guess what? You find them when you look for them. What I want to do is short circuit all the pain and anguish that I went through. And I want to also help you with the parts that I imposed upon myself, which was being hard-headed and that I knew better. Here's the deal. If you're not ranked higher than me, you don't know better. Plain and simple. If you don't have the success that you want to, you don't know better. Now, that might sound harsh. I'm saying it for a reason. I'm not trying to be egotistical here. I just want people to understand, follow this. Just do it, man. My son goes to baseball practice, and he's got a better way of doing it. I'm like, shut up and do what the coach said. When you can lead the team, you start coaching. But until then, listen, be coachable. It's the biggest thing that'll knock somebody out of this thing. You got to be hungry and you got to be coachable. So remember, if you've ever played sports, listen to the coach. Give him a couple shots of this thing and give it a true shake. Don't just, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, because you missed 6 in a row because you're not following the form that he told you to do. Follow this form. Follow this. I promise you. Why would I not tell you the stuff that works the best? Why would I keep anything and hold it back? I'm giving you a decade's worth of knowledge, and I got it so distilled and so beautifully laid down. All you got to do is follow it. We have people on here that are following it and literally have 7 to 10 people in their team in less than a week because they're following it. What is that? Write your why down. After that, write down 20 names. 20 boxes going across, and do it on 4 pieces of paper, okay? 5 on a page, and do 4 pages, because you won't be able to get it all on one page. You got to write too small. But you can turn your page sideways, and you can put 5 of those little boxes on there and write those names. We got Al, we got Bob, we got Chuck, we got Dave, and we got Ed. Now, please don't get upset if I use men's names. Those are the shortest ones I know and the ones that always pop in my head when I do A, B, C, D, and E. Okay? So that's just how it goes. Put your names down in there. Now, after that, the next thing that we need to do is we need to have a bio about this person. So put a box underneath of them and write 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever you want to write. Don't write War and Peace, but get yourself a little bit of information in there. Now, like, well, Casey, I know all there is to know about this person. That's fine. It's not for that. It's for the person that's going to help you in this process. Because remember, this is not a solo sport. This is 100% team sport. Okay? And you're the one that's bringing these people, and there's others that are going to need to know who these people are. So write some information that's pertinent about what it is we do, anything you know about them in business, anything you know about them with family, anything you know with their location, anything you know what they do for a living, anything that you know about their health, just some information that's in here, something that you can compliment on them. Put those types of things, put their bio. And you need to do this for all your people. Do not prejudge anybody that you put up there. Just put the first 20 people that pop in your head. And then on the bio, start putting in some information about them and put their phone number as the very last thing. Okay, you got your why, you have your list. Here's the next step that you're going to do. You're going to build rapport, okay? When you build rapport, you need another box underneath of this, and this is the R box. And in here, there's going to be 5 check boxes. Okay? The check boxes are going to be wealth, health, time, charity or significance, or skincare. I'm also okay if you just want to do 4 boxes and put skincare and health together. I've been thinking about this. I think I'm going to probably do that when I actually make this template, and we'll have 4 choices in there. Health, and it's going to be from the inside or out. Okay, either one. Because it's rare that you're going to talk to somebody and they're going to pop out something about skincare just randomly. They're going to talk about other things that are ailing them. So we'll probably combine that down into, in fact, we're going to make an executive decision and we're just going to say health, 4 boxes. Okay. Now, what I want you to be able to do is select which one that this person's going to be interested in of these 4 things. And then if you need to put a little text statement or something like that, write that in below in here on a line or 2. Okay. Where if it's a check mark for wealth, then, and you know what it is they want to do, why do they need the wealth? Do they need to send Susie to college? Do they need a new car for the wife? Do they need to get out of their job? Is it a bad situation? So on and so forth. So put in there what you know about them. Now, you might be saying, Casey, I don't know anything about this person. I just remember this person. I ran into them at church and I knew that their name was Al. Cool. Now we know what we need to do next. You don't know what goes in this box. Maybe you don't know what goes in the bio box. That's okay. What you need to do is you need to now start getting information so that you can fill out these boxes. This is the process. These are the steps. You're going to build rapport with somebody. Building rapport is finding out things about the other person. It's not about telling them all about you, okay? Most of us want to talk about the most important person in our lives, and that is us. We want to talk about ourselves. We want to tell what we did this weekend. A better approach is to ask about their weekend. Then ask what they're going to do next weekend. Then ask if they're going on any vacation sometime this summer. Then ask if they like their job or where do they work. Ask about their family. What do they do? What do they do for a living? How many kids do you have? Do you have any kids? Are you thinking about kids? I mean, whatever you have a chat with them and get them talking. When they start talking, they're probably going to mention one of those 4 things that they're looking for. And on the charity one, it can be significance as well. They might talk about how they're so busy. That one happens all the time. Man, I'm so busy. Busy doing what? Find out. Man, I got running around, dealing with my parents. One of them's real sick, and I'm dealing with that. Oh, really? Goodness, I'm sorry to hear that you're so busy and you're having to deal with that. Do you mind sharing what they're dealing with? Oh, wow, they're dealing with a lot of heart issues, and they're dealing with they can't sleep real well. And wow, okay, interesting. Now, is now the time to throw up all over them and start explaining to them about this wonderful thing that now you want to make the conversation about you and getting a customer? No. What you want to do is say, hey, is that something that you want to fix? You were able to see that this person's important thing, their checkbox, the thing you need to circle there is their health. Because you had a conversation and you were filling out information about them. When you're done with that, leave that be. Well, Casey, should I do it right there? If it's appropriate to do so, do it, but don't push. Hold off. Have a little swagger. Don't go all begging people. Come back later, maybe the next day, maybe a week later. You've got your paper. You can store all this information in this very high technology thing called paper, and you can say what their thing is. You can come back a week later. And you can say, hey, I remember last time we were talking, or call them the next day. Hey, you know what, Al? I couldn't help but think, I was thinking about you all last night and about what you're dealing with, and you were mentioning some of that stuff. Hey, do you want to fix that, or is that something that you're okay living with? Yes or no? They would say, it is. Goodness gracious. What do you got, Casey? Well, Al, funny you should ask, but I ran across an article last night, and it was talking about people with diabetes, like you said your mom's dealing with. And there's some people that have had a lot of great results with this thing. And I thought of you. Would it be okay? Write those words down. Would it be okay? Memorize that. If I shake you out of bed at 3 a.m, I want you to say, would it be okay if? So get that phrase down. Would it be okay if? Because when you ask somebody, hey, would it be okay if? They're already shaking their head. It just happens. Would it be okay if? Yeah. What do you need? 10,000, 2,000, have 20,000? Yeah, I'm in. Sure. Would it be okay if I added you to that group so that you could take a look at it? Yeah, it'd be great. Are you on Facebook? No, I'm not on Facebook. Hey, no problem. Let me take a screenshot copy of that and let me send that over to you. And I want you to read that article. Okay. You've piqued their interest. Would it be? Yeah, raise your hand. Yeah. What do you got? I got an article I want to send you. Maybe they check the wealth box. They want to get Susie to college. Now, depending on your relationship, depending on where you're at, you could ask them right then, or you could wait the next day. It's very powerful to come back the next day, call them up and say, hey, Al, it was great running into you at the library the other day. And I've been thinking about our conversation. What is that going to do to somebody? Is that going to put them in a good mood? Is that going to compliment them? Is that going to let them know that you care about them? Are they going to put this together? You're trying to sell them something? Now, some of y'all, as soon as somebody says, man, I got to get Susie to school, man, I got to make some more money. You need to make some more money? Oh, my God, I got an opportunity for you. You're going to love it. There's these 2 legs, and we go to Diamond and Kirk Hansen and potatoes and Chick-fil-A and, oh, my God, and Chicago. And y'all just throw up blueberries all over them. And what are they going to do? I'm good. I'm just looking. And they're going to turn right, and they're going to keep on going. Don't do that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to build a relationship with them. We're here to find out about them. Well, Casey, it'd be so much more efficient if I've got all this time right now. Let's do it right. No, stop doing that and reach out to the other 19 people. Do it this way. Give this a try, especially if y'all been on for a while and you haven't tried it. Try that. Let it sit for a day. Let it marinate. Let it percolate in there. Then you come back. It's even that much more strong with them that you care about them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Go the extreme, because most people, 99.9% of the population, doesn't listen to anybody else. They're so busy wanting to say their thing. You will set yourself apart from the entire planet by truly listening to somebody and letting them know you heard them. It's the perfect form of communication. You ask questions, you hear the answer, and you repeat it to them. Take any communication class, and that's how it's done. So when you come back the next day, hey, I really enjoyed talking to you in the library, Al, and I remember what you said about Susie and needing to get her to college. Hey, man, was that something that you were serious about, or were you just kind of venting about, about the day? And then shut up and listen and see what they say. That's going to be a very genuine thing to them, and mean it, that you're truly curious about being able to help them with it. And they say, absolutely, it's all I think about, man. And just sit there and pause. And they're eventually going to have to say, I don't really know what to do yet with the conversation. Let me get it back to them somehow. Why do you ask, Casey? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad that's important to you. I can put a check mark right here that I have piqued your interest, because you said, why do I ask? Well, the reason I ask is I need to get you on with the guy. Well, who are you going to get me on the phone with, Al? Casey? Well, Al, I'm going to get you on with a guy that's been very successful in this thing. He's been on a couple of magazine covers for helping people in your situation be able to get out of that situation. And it sounds like it's a big deal to you. And I wanted to be able to put you guys together, because that's what people do that want to help other people. Is I'm not even going to try to explain it to you, because I'm not the expert, but I want to put you together with my guy, because I really think it's going to help you with that situation. Do you want to talk to him? Yes or no? What's Al going to say? We don't know. But chances are, if you did a good job here and filled out the chart for the doctor's office on where it hurts for Al, and you ask the right questions and you spent the appropriate time with them on getting that information, and you pause a little bit in there so that they know that you're being genuine, and you ask them if they want to fix it, I'd say about a 95% shot that they're going to say yes. The only reason they're going to say no is that you might have made an assumption here. That's why we ask, and it wasn't really the answer, or they said it was and it wasn't really. A lot of people say that they want to make more money. I had some guy today even say, well, doesn't everybody? And I said, debatable. He goes, how's that? I said, how many people do you know that need to change their habits, but they don't? So do they want more money? Yeah, but here's the deal. Are they willing to do what's necessary to get more money? Most of them aren't. Immediately, their little terrorist starts going off in their ear. Yours isn't, theirs is. The prospect's terrorist is going off. They immediately start thinking, okay, pattern recognition. I can't focus on anything. I don't know what to do right now. This is different. I haven't had anybody listen to me in a while. Nobody sure as heck calls me the next day to ask me about Susie that I told them, and they were really listening. Uncharted territory right now. Alert, danger, klaxons going off. Some people are going to be that way. They're so afraid because that voice is telling them, red alert, red alert. But most people are going to say, holy crap, another bro trying to help me out. Yeah, put me on with your guy. What's it going to hurt? That's what you're attempting to do. Now, let me be crystal clear in these steps so far. This right here is all you're doing. This is the process in action. Nowhere on here did I say anything about Kyani. Nowhere in here did I say anything about blueberries. Nowhere did I start talking about the product. Nowhere did I say triangle of health, fluoresce. Nowhere did these things come up whatsoever. And that is by design. 97, probably 98% of new people that get started discount that statement, and they go out there and they start talking about all these things anyway. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get about 3% of the population that you talk to is going to join you and be your customer or do the business. The rest aren't. Because you're going to come across as a salesperson. If you go down this Death Valley path and not follow this, but go your own way on that and start doing that where you start talking about the product, oh, I just need to give them a little bit of information. No, you don't. That's your ego talking. That's your ego saying that you got to be in control of the situation. You are in control, but it's not about you knowing information that somebody else doesn't know. It's about you having access to the information and pointing. That is the most profound thing about this system. And the reason that we do it, the reason that it's set up this way is because we are trying to build something that doesn't require us to always be there. That's the nature of residual. That's the nature of what we're trying to do. Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson recorded the record one time. They didn't have to go back and keep recording the darn thing. It kept playing and kept playing and kept playing while they were somewhere else on a beach doing whatever it is they wanted to do. That work was done, and they're still being paid on that today. And they're not in the process anymore. So it's extremely important that you set this thing up from the very beginning in such a way that you can walk away from it. And the better you do that, the quicker you can walk away from it and the faster it's going to duplicate. If you insert yourself in here and you got to know all these things and you are a researcher and you're an analytic person and you got to know everything before you can do something, I promise you, you're going to struggle with this. You're going to go slower. Well, Casey, that's just how I'm wired. That's an excuse. I'm that way too. I'm very analytical. I want to know everything. You don't have to in this. It's better that you don't. You see people blow up. How is it possible that somebody's already got 7 to 10 people in their business and they've been in for less than a week? Because they didn't make it about them. They made it about their prospect. They made it about Al and Bob and Chuck and Dave and Ed because they want to help them. They didn't look internal and say, holy crap, if I go to Al, Bob, Chuck, and Dave and Ed, man, I got to know everything so that I don't look stupid. That's what holds everybody back when they get started. I don't want to look stupid. I don't understand this. I don't know what to do. I need to know all these things. No, you don't. not to be successful in this business. You might need that for your own little terrorist edification, but you don't need it to be in this business. You need it, but not to be good in this business. Please hear that part. That one might be tough for some people to swallow. Play this part again. Come back and watch this again. Folks, this is what it's all about right here. This is rubber hitting the road, hardcore. This is all there is. Well, Casey, what happens after that? After that, somebody else steps in. Who am I edifying? Who am I passing to? What the heck does edify even mean, Casey? I don't even know what that word is. That means you're putting somebody on a pedestal. You're edifying somebody else. You're saying and introducing somebody and giving accolades to that person in the introduction. You could be at a restaurant. And so here I am, Casey, as the new business partner, Al, who is my prospect, and Miss Karen White, newly minted, car qualified sapphire, kicking butt in this business, is the expert. And I'll use Karen any day of the week because she's a rock star. I'm not going to give all this information. I'll screw them up. I know the information. Heck, I designed the damn thing, but I'm not going to give them that information. I'm going to let Miss Karen White do that. Why? Because it's got to duplicate, and it's not about me. It's about Al. So Al and I are having lunch at Jasper's in the Woodlands, Texas, and all of a sudden Karen walks in, and I see her, and I'm like, holy smokes, Al, dude, I've got to introduce you to this lady. Well, who is she? Hold on, I'll let you know when we're introducing. Hold on one second. Hey, Miss White, can you join us? Go, good to see you. Give hugs, shake hands, whatever. Miss White, I need to introduce you to my friend Al here. Al and I go way back. You know, we met each other at the library the other day. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. We just ran into each other, and he was talking about his daughter Susie and how he wants to help her get to college. But anyway, Al, this is Miss Karen White. Miss Karen White is an absolute rock star in business. She has been so successful in so many different ventures, and it's no doubt in this one too. I really am happy that I can put the two of y'all together. Miss Karen White, this is Al. Al, this is Miss Karen White. So what did I do right there? I edified Karen White. I put her on a pedestal. Al, who doesn't know Karen, and Karen, who doesn't know Al, they know how social norms should be for how the interaction should go. 4 times I said Miss Karen White. 4 times I said Al. I didn't say Mr. Al. Al and I go way back. Al and I are peers. But Miss Karen White, she's next level up here. Now, we all put our pants on the same way. It's just a little social thing that we're doing here, right? But by doing that, Al is going to act with reverence to the person that I'm edifying. That is your job to do when you're edifying. Al, I need to get you on with Casey Salgi. I need to get you on with Miss Karen White. Miss Karen White is a car qualified sapphire. She got paid for a car in this company already. She's blowing this thing up all over Texas, all over Amarillo, all over Houston. She's going to be able to answer and tell you all kinds of stuff and show you how to help Susie get to college. That's an edification and passing the ball and introducing someone else. When you do that, you hit your internal mute button. Stop talking. Your part's done. And let the leader, the person that you're edifying, take care of this. Casey, I don't know who my leader is. Get with your sponsor, the person that enrolled you, or get with me and send me a number. Let me give you my telephone number, and I'll give it to you again at the end. It's 832-771-0730. Okay, write that number down. And if you haven't before, send me a text, send me your name, and let me know who your sponsor is. And that's for all the new people, if you don't mind. If you haven't communicated with me on text, go ahead and do that right now and blow this phone up. And if you're watching the replay of this, do the exact same thing. That lets me know that you watched it as well. Okay? And let me know. So the reason for doing these steps is that you bring trust to the equation, but what you don't have and what you can't have is proof. And below this line is where the proof happens. Above this line is where the trust happens. Here's what most people mess up on. They try to be the trust and the proof. So Al, I hear that you want to get Susie to college. Did I get that right? Sure did. Why do you ask? Because Al, I've got a business opportunity that I want to share with you and tell you some details about this thing, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I just got started 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to give you a presentation on all the reasons why this is absolutely amazing. What has Al done already? He's checked out. Man, you've been in for 2 weeks. What the heck are you going to know? Well, Casey, how is it possible I'm going to get good in this business if I don't have any proof? I got to be able to tell them the presentation. You use this system. You let somebody else do this part. You let the leader do this, or somebody other than you. It doesn't have to be a leader. It just needs to be somebody other than you, somebody that's had some success in this business. If you've made it to Jade, you can be the proof person because you're making $298 a month on average. Folks, it took me 24 months, $30,000 invested to earn $260 a month in residual income in real estate. You hit that however long it took you to hit that. You have proof. Now, some of you don't have the confidence to do that. If that's the case, don't do that step. But if you've done that, you've got plenty enough to be able to go do this. But you don't do it for your people. You must do it for others. Don't do it for your direct prospects. When you do that, you're trying to be this and you're trying to be this. Trust and proof, and you can't be. So has anybody ever gone around and made this mistake before? Well, you know, I need to get you in front with, oh, you just tell me what you know about it. Okay, here we go. And you get your shovel and you start digging and you start digging and you start digging and you keep digging you this hole that you can't get out of. And the next thing you know, it's an hour and a half later and you're still talking and explaining the business to them. And you're like, how did this happen? Because as soon as you answer one question about this, you start digging and you can't put the shovel down. It's weird now. Because what happens is once you start answering questions, your ego gets involved. Well, I'm on a roll now. Look how smart I am. Pay off, pay off, pay off. I know everything there is to know about this because I'm smart. I'm somebody important. Pay off, pay off, pay off. The little terrorist's like, keep answering, keep answering. Go, 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 go. Next thing you know, hour and a half. And you give them a perfect presentation. Who's done that before? Man, I nailed that sucker. And they go, I'm good. Thank you very much. And they lose your phone number. It's like Martians showed up, teleported them, and they're gone. You never hear from them again. Has that happened to anybody yet? Some of y'all are lying. There they are. That's okay. That's how you learn. You know what doesn't work. Don't do that. And everybody else, this is why I want your video on so that everybody else can benefit from seeing that you've done that too. Everybody does it. My job is to help you stop doing that as soon as possible and show you better behavior that you can do that is more effective. And that is passing the ball to your leader. When you do that, there are scripts for that. If somebody happens to have one, actually, Karen, let me just call this out specifically so we don't have 1,000 people doing it. Ms. Karen, if you don't mind finding an edification script, maybe what you use for me, and feel free to post that out here on the chat session so that people can see how to do a proper edification, okay? A proper edification isn't, hey, John, I want to introduce you to Casey. He's going to answer all your questions. That's not edification. That's an introduction, not that great of an introduction. It sure as heck isn't edification. John doesn't know any difference between me and the next, guy walking down the street. He has no reason to think that I know anything about what I'm doing. So it's going to be harder for me to get to a point where I can give him information that he believes is proof. You have to transfer that. You have to edify. You have to give that out. Okay? And when you do that, it's going to cause a lot of great things to happen. Somebody is now going to be paying attention. They're going to listen more than they were listening to you. Why? Because people don't listen to each other that they know and like. Think about the last lunch you had. Chances are y'all were both talking at the same time about different things and trying to see who could get the most words in to talk about themselves. Danny's smiling. It's just what we do. We want to talk about us. Why? Because we're egotistical, egocentric animals, man. That's what we do. It's rare to run across somebody that actually truly listens. And what's really funny, if you're ever observant and you get real good at listening, when they get done, they're going to say, this has been the greatest conversation I've ever had. Why? They got to talk about their favorite subject the whole time. They don't have a clue about you. Oh, I'm sorry we didn't get to hear much about you. Maybe we do that next time when we go get together again, because I want to talk about me some more. That's just what we do. So here's the deal. Go with it, man. Go with it. They're going to give you everything you need to know. They're going to tell you all kinds of stuff. Listen. Don't try. Here's what also happens. We're thinking, how can I weave this in and turn this over to Kayani and tell him how good it's like, oh my God, if you could only hear what you're saying and what I know, and God, it just goes together so well. If you only knew how much money we could make in this thing, and you want to just get going. Not your role. That's digging the hole. That's digging it ain't time for that step, and it's not your role to play it. How weird would it be if the catcher was also the pitcher in a baseball game? It's just boom. It doesn't work. You can't do that. Same thing in this business. You're not going to be the proof and the trust at the same time. You got to be one or the other. Okay? So by doing this, by having this script that you're going to use to be able to do this edification, you're going to do it by a text message or you're going to do it by messenger. Okay? Share my screen here. You want to do it this way because it's a whole lot easier to not throw up on somebody via text. But you get on the phone and you're talking to somebody, woo, you can get out of hand quickly. Next thing you do, you look down, it's 20 minutes. You look back, it's an hour. You look back, it's been 2 hours. And you're giving a presentation. You're like, what is going on? Why can't I stop talking? If you do it on a text message and you just simply use this script, it'll get that set up. Here's the other thing this is going to do. It's going to weed through the people that are not serious. If getting your daughter to college is super important and it's a huge, huge hot button for you, and somebody says that you trust, says, I got something that might be able to fix, not an infomercial on TV at 3 a.m, but somebody that you trust says, I got a way to fix that. You're going to say, yeah, let me chat with them. If it's not that big of a thing to you getting your daughter to college, or that wasn't really a hot button for you, you're not going to get on the phone with somebody. Cool. We found out who's not interested. Excellent. Move on to the next. Very, very important to go through these steps. Okay. So now let's talk about how this is going to work out. Here's what most of you are going to do. You're going to say, I don't want to fill out this sheet of paper. How easy it is to get a piece of paper and draw these boxes on it and fill this out. I mean, can it get any more Mickey Mouse than this? But what's easy to do is also easy not to do. I ask you to take it on faith that I know what the heck I'm talking about. And what all the leaders that are on this can also attest that I know what I'm talking about. And the results of our team continuously blowing up every single month know what we're talking about. And all of the stats that are there, we know what we're talking about. I implore you to fill this out and get 4 pieces of paper, 5 of them on a page, and just keep on going. And thank you guys for sending me the text message. I appreciate that. Lets me know everybody on the team. And get your 4 pages of this so you have 20 names. Put those 20 names in there. Put the bio. I want you focused on them and something about them. And if you don't know what to put in there, then you need to be a better friend, a better acquaintance. Turn this semi-relationship into a better relationship by asking questions. Say, you know what, Al? You and I have seen each other at church for many, many years. I don't know anything about you, man. Tell me your story. And get their story and pay attention. It's easy to pay attention when you're not trying to take what they're saying and flip it around so that you know what to say next. Here's the deal. They're going to ask about your story, and there's nothing special that you got to do. You just talk about you. But the best thing to do is get it back to Al, get it back to your prospect, and get that conversation going. Fill out these bios. Put these phone numbers. Don't have phone number. Ask for their phone number. Al, we've known each other forever. Hey, man, every once in a while, I might want to stay in touch with you. Would it be okay if I got your phone number? Sure, man. Cool. It's not weird. If you don't know which one of these things are ailing them, maybe you've known them for 20 years, you know they got a bad back. You don't have to go through and ask them a whole bunch of questions right here on building rapport. You already know because you've already built rapport with this person. They know you, you know them. If it's your dad and he's got some issues going on with his back, say, Dad, I know you got a bad hip, bad knees. Hey, man, you want to fix that or you want to keep being in pain? Sometimes they want to keep being in pain. Let them stay in pain or enroll them in the possibility of being out of pain. You've been in pain for a long time. Would you be interested in fixing it? Don't say I've got a product to fix that because now you turn into a salesman. Say, do you want to fix that? Yes or no? Yeah, why do you ask? Because I got a guy that can help you with that. No, I've tried everything. No, you haven't. You haven't tried this. But by your answer, I guess since you tried everything, you don't really want to fix your hip problems or your back problems. You're just going to live with it from here on out. I promise you there are hard-headed people out there that will say yes or effectively say yes. They're more interested in having the payoff, the victim mentality that they're not going to fix it. They would rather have the story and the whining than they would rather get rid of the issue to begin with. So they don't really want to fix it. Next, move on to the next one. Go talk to Bob. Now, when you do this with these numbers, here's what you're going to see. 20 people. You're going to go through these steps. Get the bio. Find out where it hurts. Which of those 4 boxes need a check mark in it? Maybe it's all 4. Ask the right questions to get those answers. Eventually, they're going to get curious. Why are you asking me this? You've piqued their interest. Do you really want to fix that? Yes. Why do you keep asking me all this stuff? Of course I want to fix it. What do you have? What are you getting at? I've got a guy. Well, can you tell me about it? Nope. What if I ask a whole bunch of times, will you tell me about it? Nope, I'll screw it up. And I ain't got that type of time. I'm busy. Well, you spent the last time with me. I know I did. But now it's time for me to send you to somebody else. Here's the deal. I don't fix toilets. I'm not a plumber. But I know plumbers that can fix those issues. You just told me that you got a plumbing problem, and I know a plumber. Do you want the number to the plumber? Do you want me to set up a conversation with the plumber? Yes or no? If you don't, cool. Guess what? You got the golden goose tucked up underneath this arm because you're on this call right now. Y'all have any idea what you have your hands on right now, folks? 63 countries, 3 multi-billionaires with a product line that is next to none. And nobody knows about it. You got everything going for you right now. Go share the love with them. But do it this way. Be the one in control of this situation. You do this, if you're really, really bad at it, you're going to have a 15% conversion rate. What does that mean? That means 3 people are going to be in the business with you. 17 are going to say no. Also out of this, your goal is to get around 7 customers. When you're talking to people and they give you a check mark in the health bucket, those are the people that are going to be your customers. If you got somebody looking at it from the business perspective and they've got a wealth or time issue on their little check marks here. If it's wealth or if it's time and you go through this process and they end up saying, no, not their thing, cool. Would you at least be interested in some extra health? It's got a money back guarantee. You take a shot at those. They say no to the business right here. You're going to get some of those to still turn into customers. If you can get 3 business partners and 7 customers, you are well on your way in this business. Here's what I want you guys to do. Before you eat lunch tomorrow, I'd like for you to have 4 pieces of paper. You can do this tonight. And I'd like you to get started by putting your why and do it on each, but you're going to make the same template. The why, 5 boxes, 5 bios, 5 rapport boxes, 5 peak boxes, 5 edify boxes. So that you know, did I do the edify and pass? Yes or no? And what this is this is a plan on a page. These are your battle plans. This is how you're going to take the mountain. Print this out or get you 4 pieces of paper and draw the boxes and then fill them out. Put the names. So by lunch tomorrow, I'd love for you to have 20 names written out. Casey, I don't know anybody. Sit there and keep working on it. Just get names. Then after that, write the bios for all of them. Write the phone number. Casey, it's in my phone. That's a waste of time. It is not a waste of time. It is doing something beyond what you can even think of. And the physiological facts of you writing this out with a pen and paper. I am the most electronic guy there is. I love my electronic gizmos. But I also know that I carry this little fella right here by hand to be able to write in it every single day. I write stuff on paper all the time. These are names and telephone numbers. I keep writing them because it causes me to be paid attention and plugged in and tuned in to what I'm looking for, and that is people. And you need to do the same. This is not some simple little, it looks simple, folks. It looks so simple, but it's not something that was just thought up in about 30 seconds. This has been refined and done, and this is almost a decade's worth of knowledge poured into this on why this works. It's a plan on a page. Get all that information in there. Get all the bios in there. At least have that done by lunchtime tomorrow. Write the phone numbers down. And when you start that process, it's going to cause some crazy things to happen if you haven't done this before. And you're going to start thinking of names that's going to start popping out of your brain. Because what's going to happen is your subconscious is going to get in on the action. It's going to say, oh my goodness, he is or she is interested in these names that we haven't thought of in a while. And then all of a sudden, boop, there's another one, and it pops out. Boop, there's another one. Now, you don't have to stop at 20. Keep printing paper. Keep printing the paper. Keep taking the paper and keep writing it. Turn it sideways, and then just write your boxes across. And keep doing that. Then get with your leader, the person that sponsored you, or they will put you in touch with what's called a shooter or somebody up in the organization and say, what do I do next if you're not clear? But if you don't reach out, then we're not going to know that you need help. It is up to you to raise your hand and say, I'm lost. I don't know what the heck he's talking about. I am utterly clueless on what to do next. Get with that person. We are here to help you. If it takes you 20 times to do this, we will do it 21 times. We will keep doing it until you get it. Because once you get it, you're then in the game with us. You're in the fight with us to be able to go out and impact these people's lives with what they want to be impacted with. There's so many people that are out there looking. There's so many people that need what we offer. But it is not up to us to go sell it to them. It's up to us to go identify them, be the spotters, have the binoculars, and be observant and see and listen, truly listen, read between the lines on what people are saying. And be a very observant person. And when you figure out what somebody truly wants, it's not up to you to show them how Kayani is going to get it for them. It's up to your proof person to do that, not you. You're simply the person that knows the guy that can fix their problem. You are not the plumber, but you got the plumber's telephone number. Now again, do this business however you want. There's 1,000 different ways to skin this cat. If there was one that was better, I promise you I'd be doing it, and I would be tweaking that system and making it even better. This is the one, folks. This is what's blowing up. This is why we're popping cars. We're popping rubies. You're going to start seeing popping emeralds. You're going to see diamonds. You're going to see blue diamonds. You're going to see an absolute takeover. And we've been on that tear. This group is being absolutely recognized and noticed for that. And just keep doing it and bring more people and make sure they get plugged in. Once they get this ain't rocket science, but it's going to take you a couple times. Riding a bicycle ain't that big of a deal until you do it for the first time. And once you do it a couple times, now you know what you're doing. And then you keep getting better and keep getting better. And then after that, you help the next guy learn how to ride the bicycle. Or let me do it and have it be done for you and bring them here. Okay? All right, let's see if we got any questions as we wrap this up for tonight. I appreciate you all jumping on. Thank you, Karen. If y'all haven't yet, go on to the group chat and you'll see an example of what you do for the edify and pass. Karen posted that out there as an example. Hi, Mr. Salgi. I'd like to introduce you to Paul, or introduce Paul, a friend of mine. We worked together at Memorial Hermann, where he led the program office. Paul, meet Mr. Salgi. He's very knowledgeable about the system. I couldn't think of a better person to answer your questions, so on and so forth. That's the type of thing that you want to be able to use. It edifies and comments and compliments the prospect as well as the proof person. And that's how you pass the ball, and then you're done. So find out where it hurts. Ask them if they want to fix it. And if they do, see if they want to talk to the guy that can fix it or the girl that can fix it. And then use a chat session and get them to pass it over. Rinse and repeat until retired. Do it 20 times, fail 85% of the time, and still be tremendously successful in this business and make a lot of money. Okay? All right, let's see if there were any other questions above that. I think that was it. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording and end it for tonight so that we can keep the recording there. If you've got any questions and you want to stick on the line for a little bit longer, I'll stay on. So just hang out while everybody's jumping off, and then I'll answer any questions that you got. But thank you guys very much for joining. I hope this was extremely helpful for everybody as well as the new folks. And then just take this and go put it into action. All right, I'm going to unmute the line so y'all can say goodnight, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Can't see me.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Right. Bye. I need to.